Experience podcast.
Welcome back to another episode of the Black Cinema Experience
Podcast.
I'm your girl JB,
And I'm Cameron.
and this week we're back with a very thrilling, dramatic episode. We watched the movie Blink Twice, starring Naomi Aki,
Audrey, Arjona, and then Channing Tatum, of course.
There's more people than that, but those are the three main characters that we
Yes.
want to shine the spotlight on because this film was basically built on their backs. So Naomi Aki is a super special actress.
Yes.
I happened to watch her in It's the End of the Effing World, and that was the first time I ever saw her, and she was such a exciting actress. She did such a good job with the crazy eyes. She is an English actress, so she has an accent in real life. So seeing her be this American girl was very cool too.
Also, I want to dance with somebody.
And I went into somebody
It's
from
a
Whitney
huge,
Houston,
yeah.
which was huge. Exactly. She's really an outstanding actress, but we haven't seen her name put out there like that yet. I'm not sure why. Maybe if it's American shade, or we're not giving her credit that's due. But she really did hold this movie down, and she's fascinating to watch. She's so beautiful to see on screen. It looks so different than what we normally see.
Exactly.
So I loved her being the main character. Cameron, what are your thoughts about this movie? You watched it with me for the first time today.
Yes.
How do we feel about this?
I really liked the movie. The movie was very unexpected. I thought it was going to go one way. It ended up going completely another, and I thought it was very an interesting thriller.
Yeah.
I love the cinematography. I love the theme. Obviously, low-key women empowerment, and women protecting each other and coming together and uniting. I thought that was just an awesome message all around. And I thought it took a lot of conspiracies that people have been hearing about, rich billionaires and the elites doing crazy things. But we always know that a lot of the times most of the victims are women. So again, I thought it was a really creative way to incorporate a meaningful message with something very entertaining.
Exactly. And there's a reason behind it too. There's no actual consequence when you are in that category of wealth. So it really was interesting to see them basically take power back into their hands and then decide how they wanted to use it, against their abuser essentially. So for those who don't know, a brief synopsis of this film: Channing Tatum is our super hot billionaire, and he has this private island, and he takes these girls to a private island, and they're all having the time of their life every single night, but little pieces are not adding up. And they're trying to figure out the case, what's going on, and then one of the girls goes missing, and we start to realize, okay, there's an antidote to this drug that we're taking every day that's making us forget. So they start using the antidote, and then they start remembering, and they're remembering the abuse, they're remembering the murder, they're remembering the rape. So it got very violent, and it was kind of hard to watch for certain parts, because it's dang, y'all was doing all that, y'all were really and these men were like, oh, you're sure? They're sure they're not going to remember anything? And even that is scary, because it's the power that a person would have if they believe that you forget. The evil things that the world will do to you if they believe that you will forget. It's definitely it was honestly kind of bone chilling, because it was dang, you guys would take this type of advantage of a person if you thought that the next day they would forget, and you would just keep repeating the cycle over and over again
like it's nothing.
Money affords you that. And there was a game in it, to a certain extent, because the girls only remembering running, they're all why are we running, but when you actually see in the moment, they're running and these guys are chasing them down and essentially having their way with them, which was really brutal to see on TV. But whew.
I also like the way it was filmed. Like you said, it encapsulated what was happening. When they're running, and you see the way the camera was panning with them, and it kind of tricked you, because you're having these moment blips with them. It had me so confused for a moment. We knew obviously this was kind of where it was going, but I think that it was done very cleverly. We didn't know the extent of what was happening. You being parts of their story being chopped out, and the way it was being chopped out for us too.
Yeah.
You felt like you were really along on the journey, which even made it more creepy, because of you going through that kind of trauma, and then obviously you feel like you're experiencing it too. It was
Well, crazy. When they were shooting this film, they were very intentional about how they wanted us to receive it as the audience. Like, I noticed in the very beginning that every scene that had our main character, Frida, it was like showing us from like her perspective, you know, and it made her world feel so like big when we're being introduced to Channing Tatum, like his character. Like that we're seeing the camera, like we're seeing him shake her hand, like we're seeing her shake hands with everybody. She's meeting all these people for the first time, and you get that feeling that you're her and you're going through this experience. Like, oh, I'm so happy to be here. Like, I'm so excited. Like the camera's handheld, it's shaking along. Like it's really giving us the vibe of like we are in her body, meeting these people and seeing this island for the first time, right? So, like, we do that, and then we start to see, like, the world get bigger for her. We're starting to see her understand things. We're going from having, you know, that moment where we're seeing things from her perspective to the moment where we're actually, like, honing in on our main character, like, zooming in on her face or even zooming out on the bigger picture and showing us how small she really is in this world. So, like, they did a really interesting job shooting this one. And they were very intentional about the angles, the way they shot it, when they shot, how, like, just the down up, like, everything. It was all very, very much so intentional.
It was very aesthetically pleasing, and I thought it was a really clean movie. And, like, for this to be Zoe Kravitz's, like, directorial debut, I thought that was, like, this is a pretty strong piece of, like, art to, like, put out there and very impactful. I'd like to jump into it. You know, having a black woman lead this movie, I feel like it's again very fitting. It was just, I don't know, it showed like a lot of resilience, and I feel like black women especially, but like her, you know, being put in this situation by a white man, not just necessarily a white man, but by a man. I thought it was like a really interesting choice in casting. I thought it was a really interesting choice in like storyline wise.
Yeah, like you mean like them having a black woman be the main character?
Yeah, I feel like that was, and them kind of like showcasing her trauma, you know, being abandoned by her mother, and then, you know, overcoming that, and then they're kind of playing into her story about how she overcomes this situation, because again at the end it's a twist, which we love a good twist. So I thought that was like pretty, like really good, like linear storytelling.
Yeah, it was linear. Everything was like full circle. I feel like her telling the story about her trauma and like seeing her mom like, you know, try to commit suicide and all that stuff. I feel like that was important for the sake of why Channing Tatum doted on her, because she didn't care about forgetting, and he was all about the power of forgetting. So like it was something that he saw in her, like, you know, just like one of those special qualities. Like, yeah, she doesn't, you know, she doesn't want to forget. Like she doesn't need to forget, which made her that much more, I guess, entertaining for him to manipulate, because he knows the power of forgiveness. I mean, forgetting.
How he kept using her over and over again, essentially. Like she's been there multiple times. I was like,
yeah.
Which is crazy. And you see those shots, like when she kept looking at his ring, and like the way they were like panning to it, you're like, she's trying to figure out where she knew this from.
But also note like how complicit she was in forgetting, right? He was like, he asked her while she was asking about the therapist and the repressed memories. He asked her like, hey, so like, you know, he was talking to her about therapy, and she was like, why would I want to remember that shit? Like, why would I want to remember that stuff? Like, who cares, you know? And I think for him that even cushioned his like, she loves to forget. Exactly. Like it was one of those things that stroked his ego to make him feel good about what he was doing to her over and over and over again. It was
a demon.
This is one of those movies that like when I was watching it and I started like really understanding what was happening, I was like jaw dropped. Cause like what are we doing?
Seriously.
What are we doing?
I just thought it was like really peculiar, just like how everything played out as far as like her coming to terms with like been here before and like discovering like, you know, all the drama she had been through the first time, and then having the men come back and kind of like essentially taking revenge on her because what she did to the other guy last night, biting off his finger and stuff, and well, even when he asked her like, do you remember where you got that scar? And she was like, I don't remember. And it's supposed to be like all romantic when they were shooting it, but then kind of find out it was from a very violent thing that happened to her, and he knew how she got it, and it was like, I don't know, I feel like this movie played some low-key mind tricks on me. I was like,
they really did.
It was crazy.
They really did. Like, and I would not have willingly signed up to watch a movie about that. Like I would have never been like, oh, like a movie about like girls getting, you know, abused. Like let me turn that on. Like no, that would have never been my cup of tea. You know, but to see the way that they set this up, which was so like maniacal, which is like, okay, blink twice if everything's okay. Like we all know what that is, but it's just like the girls start to uncover and like have the secret shown to them, and it happened in a way that was like, oh shit, this is you know, for me, for it to be really scary, I have to be able to relate to it. It was one of the things that you relate to, like, oh shoot, I'm like figuring out what's really happening, but I can't express like what's really going on, because if I do, then we're gonna be, then we're not gonna have the upper advantage. So let's just continue to play along and like get through this. But it was one of those things, like to me, that was just scary but true. Like if I was in a situation like that on a private island, flown there by some rich man, how can you get off of this island safely? How could you ensure that you're going to make it back to your part of the world and that this isn't going to happen to you again?
Exactly. With these lunatics, like literally, like with these crazy men.
Without joining them, like with like truly benefiting, you know what I mean? And like I feel like the way that she went about getting off of the island, like saving Channing Tatum and like basically manipulating him back, I feel like that was like the smartest thing that a character has ever done.
Exactly.
Almost like in Double Jeopardy, where she already served the time for killing her husband, so when she got out, she killed her husband. Like same type of thing, like maniacal. Like you're not about to just be the one that benefits off of me.
Yeah,
I'm about to benefit off of you now.
Exactly, because again, had she just been regular, like done the regular thing, like let him die or whatever, like you could have like you survived it, but it's like now what do you have to show for it?
Exactly.
And so
you go back to your broke life. You don't have
exactly.
You know what I mean? No power. You don't have no proof because everything burned down in the house. You know, your best friend is dead. And I for sure, if something happened to my best friend, I'm not about to let you die without there being avenging some type of exactly avenging you. Like we're about to ride this thing out. Like what? So like honestly, like the way that she went about it was smart, but I just didn't see her being that smart the whole time. And I just was surprised that her plan worked out.
Yeah, she was doing some things. She was. I was like, girl, you're making the wrong decisions. But I mean, again, at the end of the day, she was a smart cookie. Yeah, she prevailed. She prevailed.
We
just think she would get there sometimes, you know.
Yeah. But seeing her tactic on making him forget, like loading the vape pen. And then making sure that he was using it over and over again. Like, at some point, right, just like she woke up from it, he'll wake up from it. So what happens then? Yeah. What happens when he says, I don't want to vape anymore. I think I'm done with this.
See, if I would have took the billionaire's fortune and became a billionaire myself, I would have got that surgery they used to get, what's it called, lobotomy? Or where they like, essentially make you... very docile. They used to do it to like a lot of people in the 50s, like for you've never heard of this? That's called like a lobotomy.
It's like you want me to finish your sentence and I don't know what you're talking about. Like,
if I was her, I wouldn't have to worry about him ever remembering because he would have got the lobotomy surgery, and I would have
made him forget.
He just would have been just a happy camper.
Permanently forgot.
Yeah, just happy go lucky.
Yeah, like him forgetting nonstop was so necessary because he was actually truly a monster.
Like a demon, but that's the thing. That was the whole point. Like he was hiding behind. He was saying like he doesn't have to face. You don't ever really have to face consequences for your actions. He's like, there's no such thing as forgiveness. It's only forgetting, which I thought was crazy.
Yeah, because then he did that monologue where he did the I'm sorry.
And
I was like,
started like crying.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I never seen Channing Tatum really act like He was really acting in this movie.
I was thinking the exact
I was like, Channing. Not only are you like attractive like in this, like you're really actually like super fine and desirable, but like you really showed your layers of acting in this.
It's like, you made me love you crazy, and I don't like that.
I was like, what is he doing to me?
Making me forget? No, okay.
That was crazy.
That was it was intense, and again, it was really good acting.
And like honestly, like I'm not an escaper. They would have had to spray me again, and I would have had to write a note to myself to remember. Because I mean, honestly, like I would have needed time to plan my way out of that. Yeah. You know. First, I want to see if he would let me go home if I asked, because he said all you have to do is ask.
And was nobody asked to go home?
I'm like, but the best friend, she wouldn't stop remembering because she had the snake bite, and it was like
snake venom was like the cure to
the anecdote. Yeah. But like even with that, it's like the best friend didn't have the common sense to like stay forgetting. Mm-hmm. Like when your best friend found out, she stayed forgetting. But it's weird, right? Because one thing we don't talk about is that the maid was giving her hints the whole time.
Yeah.
Like honestly, like if it wasn't for the maid, I'm not sure that she would have, pulled herself out of what was going on.
Because remember she gave her the maid was like, "You want to try the snake venom?"
Yeah, she did. She did.
Okay.
But her also saying red rabbit, you know what's interesting about that? All the pictures that fell out, the 2 that you put in your bra, one of them is you in the past with red nails.
Red nails. Red rabbit nails, because she was doing the anim nails.
Yeah. So it's like, and it's I don't know. That to me was like, okay, this lady's trying to help you out the whole time, but she seems like a menace, but it's like, okay, well, she can't really communicate to them. Like, you're getting paid to be here. You're part of the. You see what's going on. Yeah. So you're just minding your business, I guess.
And that's what I be feeling like about people that are like around these, Diddy parties and Epstein Island parties and stuff like that. Like all the people that work there, y'all just they paying for your silence. Like I understand, like they're exploiting these populations and stuff, but it's like nobody says anything. Like just let it go.
Well, what if I go to your country and have your mother come and clean my house, and your cousins and brothers, and I bring your whole family over here, and not only do they have more money they can spend in a lifetime, they have enough to take care of their whole village, all their people, and they're working here, and this is the work. The work is making the drinks. The work is making sure the outfits are prepared.
And killing snakes.
Well, in some countries, that's actually quite normal. In some countries, that's actually very normal. I would not want to live there. I would not want to live there. But and then like she was getting the venom from the snake, so it was like, was she in on the whole time? Like the whole time was that lady like, let me save this venom so I can help these girls get out of here. Because why was she getting the venom?
No,
there was no need for her to get it. It was an anecdote.
She was supposed to remove the snakes and just.
And that was her job. So why would she be creating venom for? Who told her to do that?
That's interesting. She could be one of like low-key heroes.
She was low-key a hero,
low-key,
right?
Low-key.
And so she sees Shannon getting dragged at the end, and she's laughing because she's like, "Oh, this black girl about to
chop
about to take this nigga's money. Like she about to figure this shit out."
I did want to talk about on the opposite side with another woman that's completely complacent and these women suffering, which was his assistant,
Stace,
and she was taking essentially the potion or spraying the perfume to forget because she wanted to forget. So she was in here essentially like, and it talks about like, those women who like participate in patriarchy and like
the subliminals on this one was
no, for real, the pygmies, like they want to be.
I mean, yes.
No, but seriously, like how it's not beneficial for you because and she ended up getting got too when you fall with the patriarchy, like.
Yeah, it's that mindset of boys are gonna do what boys are gonna do. So if I can't stop them, I might as well forget. So on one side of it all, Stace was really just trying to.
Cope.
She was an enabler, yeah. And she was just coping with what boys do, right? Boys are gonna get it regardless. These are billionaires. Might as well be on the boat having a good time than to be miserable,
crazy. Right?
So she's like, if you forget, you're not remembering the pain you're in. Like, what is the problem? Just forget. Just forget. It's a gift.
That's what I was like. And I thought that was a crazy one too. Forgetting it's a gift.
But think about the women of that generation. The women that tell you like, well, when you have a strong, secure home, just forget about him abusing you. Just forget about him beating you. Just forget about that thing. Just turn a blind eye. There's something important about her being there because she wasn't his mom. She wasn't like a friend, but she was in that 60-year-old, 50-year-old age bracket of women who really do believe if someone is abusing you, just turn the other way.
Exactly.
And there's a whole genre of women that still exist today that still have that same mindset.
Look at all he does for you.
Look at all of this. Look at this island that you're on. Aren't you having fun? Weren't you having a great time?
Yeah. Until I was over here being abused. Like
them rape scenes they were vicious.
Yeah, they were, but I feel like it was, I won't say tasteful, but it was like done in a way that was like palatable to where I felt uncomfortable, but I wasn't like
watching it.
I wasn't, essentially participating by being a viewer like that.
Yeah, that's true.
So I did like that. And again, I feel like that's something that comes from a woman directing. Like, we can do this, without having to do this, and traumatize, sometimes actors.
Yeah,
and they do say like at the beginning of the movie, which also like that they give you like a warning, like just let you know, like you can be triggered, which again, because sometimes you go to see a movie, you're like, oh, I was not expecting that, and that you don't know the experience. And again, I feel like that's something that's very since we're being more mindful in film, I think that's something that's like really important to like let people know.
Yeah, trigger warning. There might be some hostile, volatile, evil scenes. And one thing I did enjoy, yeah, exactly. You said it perfectly, how tasteful certain scenes were. Not just the sexual assault scenes, but also the scenes in which someone died. Like when we see the best friend get killed, I didn't see exactly if they slit her throat or just twisted her neck. But when we see like Camila, when she gets killed, he steps on her neck, but they don't show us his foot on her neck. They just show us him removing his foot, and they give us a sound effect. So I really do, and then like even with Audrey, when she was killing the security guard, they don't show us like her beating his head in, and we don't see his beat in scalp, but we do see her basically finish and walk away. So like I really did appreciate that as well, because honestly for me, I don't need there to be gore and detail and blood and cracked skull. Like the idea is bad enough, and even with the scenes, the sexual assault scenes, it's like, the idea of what was happening was bad enough. You see the men tackling the women. You see the men in their positioning behind the women. You get the idea. You don't actually have to see them insert themselves. Exactly. You know what I mean? And it's like, sometimes films get so graphic where it makes you just like desensitized to certain things. And like, we could totally go back to a time where you're actually using your artistic ability to create emotion. The beginning of the film, like I said in the beginning, like the whole handheld scenes and like her being excited and her meeting people, and there's just like all this like, jumping and back and forth and movement, that showed us her excitement. We didn't need to see her jumping up and down to understand she was excited. And when it came down to like the kill scenes, we did not need to see their gory brains spilled all over the ground for us to understand, oh, these women took care of the problem. They gave us the badass, theme music so the girls could join teams and go and save the day. And, they both had a weapon each. We had just enough, to get the idea. And it was very, as you said, tasteful. Yeah. If I was a celebrity, if I was an actress, I would not want to be an actress that's signing up to be in a movie, and every movie you see me naked. Yeah. Like, I would not want to sign up for a film where I was, like, exposed or, like, just seen in such a negative way. And again, like, storytelling is about, you can storytell in so many ways. You storytell through the outfits. The white outfit that they were wearing. Like, we're going through like the day with their white outfits. Every day they wake up, they put on their white bathing suits. Every night they go to dinner and they put on their white dresses. Like, every night they have this same like routine, which is even more like how it's psychotic, right? Like, and the all white part being purity. Mirror, 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 Diddy and the white toes. Okay, like not just Diddy, but other people and their like obsession with white and their obsession with purity for that, like that fetish of like making them dirty again, right? Like there was a lot to do. Whew.
No, literally, and that's why again the movie showcased that very well, and then also like again. It's being respectful, because there are sometimes, again, that I feel like I don't want to get too heavy on like there never being any nudity, because I do feel like for the message you're trying to convey, like some people that's what they have to do for certain things. But I do like when for something like when it comes to sexual assault or like sexual violence, that you like give victims some dignity, because they've already been stripped from so much. So again, that's why I do like the tastefulness of like when films do stuff like this, like when they use their artistic, direction to be able to convey the emotion without having to just put everything out there. Because again, like in a movie like The Shakedown, nudity is a part of the movie. So, but with this, again, it's like you said, like it was.
The idea is gruesome. We don't need to see the details, and we never did see like the horrifying details of it all, but we definitely got the idea.
Absolutely.
Cameron, if you were filthy rich and you could afford an island and you have the ability to buy something to make people forget, and you can bring them to your island and do whatever you want to them, what would you do?
It's crazy because we're starting a farm. Like,
and I'm not gonna make any of you guys forget.
Yeah, exactly. We're all gonna be.
Might do little shrooms every now and then. We cry about our past trauma and do some therapy and some sound baths, but.
And do the shrooms with like the medical equipment so that everybody has a safe trip.
Yeah.
That's what I was. That's what I was feeling.
Indoors. Everybody stay in your rooms. Lock the doors. We're gonna trip inside.
Exactly. I mean, you're gonna be nice and sedated, so everything's gonna go really smooth.
Yeah, there'll be a medical professional. There will be. It did give a lot of vibes like that, like those shows that came out around the same time. That one show with Nicole Kidman, like the Perfect Eight Strangers or Perfect Strangers.
Perfect Strangers, yes.
Yeah, and it was
she was like the guru leader.
Yeah, she was dosing them every day. She was giving them shrooms, and she was like in control of like what they were experiencing. There's a certain element of that comes into play with this because these people, they kept forgetting, they kept being drugged, they don't know what's going on, and there's like all these deep connections with all these other people. So there was a lot of things that mirrored it, but I really enjoyed the fact that they took this like horrifying thing that's happening like in real time, like the Epstein situation and stuff like that, and they're really like kind of poking the bear. Yeah, they're kind of saying like, hey, this is how polluted this industry is.
And like exposing it,
yeah, but like even greater though, them making that ending where she's taking back her power, it means everything, because that means that not only are we calling you out, because I feel like in the past, like celebrities who did terrible things, might have gotten called out, but they didn't lose their power
at all.
They didn't lose their status. And in this, we're like saying we're aware that you guys are so rich that you're not gonna lose your power or your status. But we're going to figure out how to take that power back and then benefit off of it forever. Like, and that's what she did. That's how the story turned around. Like,
her being literally at the top of the empire.
Yeah.
And I loved every minute of it.
Her owning her abuser.
And she had that bold red lipstick and she was looking.
Yeah. She was looking supreme.
Exactly.
She was looking supreme and she was letting the white niggas know. She was like, oh, I know exactly who you are.
Bitch. You know names now. Thought I forgot.
Uh-oh. I don't know, that was kind of weird to me too. Like, how do you like, because it felt like Channing Tatum was really, 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 really in love with her. So like, why you got her on this island?
That's why he kept bringing her back, because he's trying to traumatize
her sleep with everybody though.
Exactly.
Like,
he's trying to pervert it.
If you love me, love me.
Exactly.
I would be the wrong one to get kidnapped, because I'd be like, keep spraying me with the forgetting spray. But don't let no one else touch me. Don't you love me? Dang.
I would just keep doing it. First of all, my only critique was if I would have found out everything, I would have probably sprayed myself with the forgetting spray, so I wouldn't have to remember that. I'm not trying to get caught. We just saw what happened to my friend when she remembered. I don't want to remember nothing. Just
for a long time, I thought we was gonna start looking for her body. And when we never looked for their friend's body, I was like, this ain't right. This ain't right. Like, you feel like your friend is gone. You over here trying to find the phones. You find the phones have got no service. And you never find your friend's body. I just don't. That's not the order I would have went in that whole thing about. And also, why would the pictures be next to the phone? Like, there's just no planning in this whole villa.
Well, I mean, that's the thing I have like learned when you listen to like the true crime podcasts like that. When people are in positions of power, they kind of get a little lazy sometimes. Yeah. They be like, "Who gonna stop me?" It's like,
"Who gonna stop me? I put a lock on this door. No one will ever break this lock."
In my office. This is my office. Nobody's gonna come in here.
The fact that he came in there, she was under the desk and like did not catch each other. That was crazy.
I mean, but it was a great scene to like get that heart pumping. Like, it was so much suspense.
Yeah.
Like, I see you sitting on there. I thought he had caught her. What's that?
That damn chair. Thank God that damn chair was there. Whew.
Cause girl, they got you. You spill blood on the floor.
Her friend made me nervous though. Like Adria, she made me nervous.
Yeah, she was.
Because when she went up that little spill, I was like, "Hold on, girl, you saying too much." She's like, "When I get home," I was like, "Girl, you
don't ever mention home in this situation."
No,
home
but
is a
if
bad
you were
word.
gonna mention home though, like, don't you want to do it in the daytime, like when the sun's up and everyone's in a good mood? Maybe at brunch. Like, maybe not at nighttime when they're preparing to do the thing that they do
they've been doing
at
every
nighttime.
Night, yeah. You gotta watch this movie. I'm telling y'all, it's really good.
But if I had the power to make girls forget, why y'all not spraying it on them in the day? Like, why y'all not just having your way with them in the day? Like, why wait until night?
Because the freaks come out at night.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
literally.
That's what I'm saying. Like, what are we doing waiting until night? Like, I can have my way with you at 6 a.m.
I mean, and who's to say, like, it happened that night? Because remember when she was running from them and she bit off his finger? It was during the day.
That was during the day.
And when he tied her up and she hit her head.
Yeah, that was definitely during the day. Ooh, they be doing the most of them kills.
That's what I'm saying. And they don't know how many days they were there, so it's like all blocked together.
Yeah, that whole what day is this shit? Like, Shannon, I don't want to go home. But also, like, if you already been to the island before, 1, how did this man get you to the island? 2, how did you forget? 3, did you not have any friends that asked about where you were for weeks and weeks and weeks or days or whatever?
Apparently not. But maybe that's why I said it was hard for her to keep a job. At the beginning, when she was like, I was like,
yeah,
coming back to the job.
Yeah.
And he was saying like, you're last time you're being too friendly. And she was like, thank you. Like, did she not remember then too? To her boss.
You just tied it in. You're absolutely correct. She did experience them before. He was basically telling her to stay out of their way because you were over here,
being too flirty or something.
Yeah, you were making friends with them, and that's when she left with him the first time. It had to be the same time. And then she came back, and they were like, where were you? Exactly. She didn't know where, so she couldn't even say, like, I was with that millionaire. But Shannon, why you keep stealing her and not just taking her away from the life altogether? Make her your wife.
Why are you stealing me and not giving me no type of financial compensation?
Like, sir, you just got me at your house. You're not spending money on me daily. Exactly. Do you even like me for real?
Exactly.
Well, sir, it do not count. I don't know. That movie, Blink Twice, was crazy because it was nothing like what I was expecting. Mm-hmm. And at the end of the day, the bad guy suffers and the innocent girl gets to win.
She wins.
And honestly, in a situation like that where your body is being used without your knowledge or your permission, the only way to win is to take something from someone, like to be as bad as your abuser. So it was great to see the power flip in that. Loved it. 10 out of 10. Watch this movie. She's fascinating to watch. Naomi Aki, she is fascinating to look at. But she's really an incredible actress. I mean, I swear, Cameron, those scenes where she was like...
Exactly, like trying to play off. Oh my god.
That dance scene, she was like,
exactly.
Like, girl, I don't know. I would have been more convincing than that. I would have had Big Daddy do something different for me that night because I would have got him alone first and then killed him. Like, what? You had the knife in your room, so why was the knife in your room? That dude was looking for his special knife. It was in your room under your mirror. How did it get there? You didn't put it there? How did it get there? Who put that there? Your best friend before she died? How did it get there? When did you get the knife? Was it after you were raped in the mud? Mm-hmm. Did your high drunk self hide it from you and put it there? We never talked about how the knife got into her room. That never came up on screen.
Yeah.
So I have questions about that too.
I mean, that is a question. But overall, I feel like they did a good job connecting the dots. And I mean, we had a little dispute about what happened at the end. Trying to figure out exactly how it happened.
There's absolutely no dispute whatsoever.
Well, y'all watch that.
She put the forgetting spray, the spray that they're spraying on their necks every day, which was used to make them forget. She was putting that in his vape. So when he got up to kill her friend, Audrey, whose name I can't remember, I think it's Sarah in this. Mm-hmm. When he got up to kill her, he took a hit of his vape. And in the midst of killing her, looked around and said, what happened to Camila? What happened to this person? What happened to your face? Forgot everything that he was doing, forgot everything that happened. And she had it in his vape pen. So you see her give him the refill of the vape anecdote, whatever, the vape shit, while he's at the award where they're honoring her. The whole time after she gets saved off the island, she's got him drugged up on psychedelics. Right. So he has no idea what's going on. He's the one that's completely forgetting everything. So there's no conflict. Yeah.
I don't know why he wanted to kill her though at the end, but maybe we'll figure out one day.
He wanted to kill her because he didn't want her to have power over him. It was like he saw oh shit, that's my anecdote, like that's not my anecdote, but that's like, you just did a me on me.
Yeah.
You bitch, I'm gonna kill you.
Exactly. So I'm saying, so he can have completely forgot if he knew that that's what that was.
Yeah, but then he's continuously basically dousing himself over and over again. So yeah, he might have remembered that first time, just like the girls were coming into their memory. Like, remember when she was having flashbacks and it was like, oh, she saw like the girl get killed and she remembered that, but she didn't remember the rape. And then she started seeing more and more things that make her remember the rape, like the necklaces and all that stuff. She started to see more things that started giving her more and more vivid memories. Kind of like when the Mexican, when Camila was talking and she was like, if anybody fuck with y'all, I'm on it. You know, in that moment while she's like having this emotional experience, she's like remembering little things and she's like kind of seeing like, you know, because if somebody fuck with you, that would really upset me. And she's like realizing like, oh yeah, that's happened. So like, it's that temporary like, oh, I'm remembering but I'm forgetting. I'm remembering but I'm forgetting. So when she douses him with the vape pen or whatever, and he takes it, he forgot like what happened to Lucia, like what not Lucia, Camila, what happened to this person, what happened to this person. But he's also remembering like, oh shit, I have the potion. Like, I'm the one who knows how to make this shit happen. So he's remembering that. And he looks at her. He's like, you bitch. That's why he says you bitch.
I know what I'm saying. I'm saying I do believe she's controlling him, but I feel like he still does have memory of it, even though while she's controlling him through the it's kind of like that skeleton key moment when you realize that the bad guy is just stuck, essentially. Which I agree with. I'm just saying that's what that's what I was trying to get at first when I first saw it. I didn't fully understand at the end the first time. Yeah,
because Cameron was trying to tell me that the snake venom was having a reverse effect on him. And I was like, that's not the case. Because the snake venom bottle never popped up at the end. The snake venom bottle only popped up in the beginning, and the girls used all the snake venom in the shots.
Yeah.
So there was no more snake venom left.
I was just confused. I was wondering how he had remembered after he had literally just taken the forget spray. That's why I was confused.
Right? Like he took the forget spray and
then he remembered again. I was like, let me kill you. Like, that's why I was. But it still be, you know, the edit. You know how they have to edit videos and stuff.
You know, also it was only one hit. You know, he only took one hit of his vape pen after she had, you know, messed with it. So, you know, maybe it was working a little bit, but not all the way, you know, and as he continues to take it, it kept forgetting more and more and more things until he was basically just a shell that was like, yes, whatever you say. But that's kind of like how they were. They were all basically just shells, like, yes, whatever you say. So I think that has more to do with, you know, how much he was using his vape pen after they did what they did to it.
Well, I would have had him vaped out.
For sure. But I'm just happy that he didn't kill the girl. Because honestly, the plan that she had was terrible. Because girl was going to die. Girl was going to die. She was really dependent on him to take that vape. Like, what if he just didn't pick it up and hit it?
And hit the vape.
It's just very odd that you would put all of your stacks in that, but then have the bottle of forget spray under your dress. Like, you could have just sprayed him while he was doing what he was doing. You could have just took the bottle and just sprayed him all in the face, because it worked on men. It worked on the little blonde boy. Yeah. You could just took the bottle and just sprayed him while he was holding the knife. Okay? You could have attacked him, but you didn't.
She lives for the applause. She wanted the theatrics.
And when did you get the vape bottle under your dress? Did you walk in there with the vape bottle and then you were holding the knife and you were like the bottle of perfume? Like, some things don't make sense. Did she walk into the room with his vape pen and the knife? Because she would have had to. She would have had to walk in with the vape pen and the knife after she had put the forget spray in the vape. Then she would have had to set the vape down and then grab the knife and then let him take the knife.
Exactly.
And then what? Pass him the vape too? Like, you know, how did you know that he was going to take it?
I mean, he said that was her best friend. Bloop.
Boop.
Boop, exactly. Boop. I was like, oh, it's a little deep. I thought it was a really good movie. Like, again, it had me.
We get it. We think we agree.
Yeah, no, I'm saying I thought it was a really, really good movie. Like, I really thought that, like, I was really engaged. Way more than I thought I would be. I'm happy to see, like, such a young, wonderful actress and director now.
Zoe Kravitz.
Exactly. Like, I just love seeing that. I think this was a really good start.
And let's not forget the tea. This is the tea. Zoe Kravitz is the daughter of Lisa Bonet.
Yes.
Lisa Bonet was dating,
married
to Jason Momoa.
Have 2 kids.
2 kids. Jason Momoa and Lisa Bonet got divorced, and Jason Momoa is now dating Adria Arjona, which plays our, one of our main characters, like the best friend, It's just quite interesting to know that tea, because Zoe Kravitz, Lisa Bonet's daughter, is who produced and like directed this film essentially. And wrote, right. So for her to be that character and to cast
your ex-stepfather's
girlfriend into one of the main character roles, that was quite interesting. So we want to know what Lisa has to say about that.
Absolutely.
Was she in support? Because, they could be a very progressive family. Lisa could have been like, I love Adria. Like, she's the best, like, stepmommy for our kids. But Jason, what? She could have been, like, in full support. Like, well, Adria is an actress. You should have her be the main character. Like, that could have been a conversation. Or it could have been, like, Zoe saying, like, I'm really going to piss my mom off by this. Because because maybe she said to herself, because Jason Momoa was too close to my age and she should have never been dating him. And I'm going to show her by casting his age-appropriate girlfriend in my movie.
No, Jason Momoa, he's 47. This one is 52. And Zoe Kravitz is 35. And
Jason Momoa is 47?
Yes. It's not just back then on crack.
I did not know he was a grown man. Oh, that's crazy. Okay, then. I was just mute me. Just.
Anyway, I'm Team Zoe.
We're all Team Zoe.
Regardless of what.
But I'm also Team Lisa. And Zoe, why'd you do that to your mom?
That's crazy.
Why'd you do that to your mom and your siblings? Your siblings' mom. I mean. But maybe Adria is like the best,
But I mean, it's
girlfriend.
That's Hollywood. That's Hollywood.
It's a very small network, apparently. We'll know once we get in there. Anyways, guys, for this movie, Blink Twice, we're gonna give it 10 out of 10 for me.
Yeah. Same. 10 out of 10.
Definitely worth watching. Support your Black female lead roles, whether they are Black American or English Black or whatever. Mm-hmm. Support your Black main characters, okay? And make sure you check out this film. It was definitely worth the watch. We saw it on, what was it, Paramount Plus?
MGM.
MGM. It's also on Amazon Prime, too. I feel like I've seen it in a few other places, but Blink Twice. Blink Twice. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching another episode of the Black Cinema Experience Podcast. Bye.